Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the video. Today is the day when we finally get our hands on one of the characters I personally been wanting to play for a long time, Blade. I've been playing him a little bit in the early access servers because my cousin, I don't know how, he apparently has early access to the servers. And let me tell you guys, this character looks insanely strong and feels very smooth to play once you get the hang of it. His kit. Now, it's a bit complicated, but don't worry. In this video, I'm going to explain you guys exactly what his abilities do and how to use them, as well as some general tips to play him in a match. Blade is a close-range damage dealer who excels at dealing tremendous damage, sustained damage with his sword and shotgun. He is also extraordinarily difficult to take down thanks to his large health pool, 350 health to be exact. His ability to block some damage, and he takes as well as even lifesteal it to back it up if an enemy gets too close. His kit is absolutely insane. Now let's talk about his abilities. In more detail, Blade got two weapons in his arsenal that he can freely swap in between the arsenal sword and the hunter shotgun. Let's talk about the shotgun first. Since his shotgun is a bit of a special case, the hunter shotgun fires a projectile that, after traveling 8 meters, expands into a widespread. It sounds kind of complicated, but basically, if you're shooting this thing at an enemy that right in front of you, you can kiss your damage output goodbye. It deals less than half damage if the projectile doesn't travel at least 8 meters. So use the sword instead at super close ranges. Speaking of the Arsenal sword, it's a simple melee weapon with a moveset that does very low damage on its own. And the reason why it might seem weak at first, it's because it's not meant to be used solo. You actually want to use it in combination with one of his abilities, which I'll talk about next. Bloodline Awakening is Blade's true melee mode. When activated, Blade draws his Ancestral sword and greatly increases his movement speed. Dealing damage builds up a resource bar that increases Blade's attack speed the higher it gets. While in this mode, Blade heals himself for a portion of the damage he deals, but receives less healing from any other source. There is also a hidden effect not mentioned in his ability description. Blade can see enemies below 50% health through walls within a certain range. This is a huge for pinging and revealing enemies' location to your team. This ability is basically his real melee mode, so whenever you want to get up close and personal, make sure you use Bloodline Awakening, not the basic sword swap. Don't make that mistake. Next up is his dash. This has 2 charges and an effect based on which weapon Blade has out. If Blade has his gun out, he dashes forward and on impact knocks the enemy back, dealing small damage and applying a healing reduction effect for 4 seconds. Yep, anti-healing is here in Rivals. If Blade has his sword out, he dashes and spins in a circle, dealing moderate damage and applying a slow effect. If you're using Bloodline Awakening, this also builds up his meter to about half if it hits. Next, we have got his defensive mood, Scarlet Shroud. Blade holds his sword in front of him and blocks a large portion of incoming frontal damage. Any damage absorbed while blocking reduces the cooldown on his dash. Scaling with the amount blocked, he also CC immune for a brief moment at the start, so you can use it to block crowd control like Luna's Freeze or Mantis Sleep. This ability runs on a resource bar, but has a 3-second cooldown between uses. Weaving this attack between attacks will be very key in the survivability of Blade. Yes, this is basically better than Irefit's block, but we'll get into that more. And finally, Blade's ultimate, Thousandfold Slash. When activated, Blade pulls out his Dracula sword and literally starts blasting the nightclub music remix from the original Blade movie. And I'm not joking. This is probably one of the coolest ultimates, as it's literally a judgment cut. You can charge this ability up to 2 seconds, but it hits maximum range about like 1 second. Activating it causes Blade to dash forward, dealing burst damage, and applies healing reduction to targets. This can also destroy healing ults. So, yep, this can destroy healing ults. Then he can leave behind an area that continually slashes enemies and keeps applying the anti-healing. This ability does a ton of damage, especially to enemies who stick around. It also destroy Rocket's amplifier turret if they stay inside, and it's excellent into strong defensive supports like Cloak Dagger or Luna. It's just completely insane, and I can't glaze this enough. Devs have cooked on this. Next up is the team up. As of Season 3, Blade has one team up with Cloak and Dagger. It's basically the same as Moon Knight's version. You drop an area on the ground that makes you invisible and heals you while inside. You stay invisible while shooting, but taking damage makes you visible for a brief second. Blade's version adds a bonus. You can deactivate the bubble to dash at your enemies, slashing them and dealing moderate damage. That is for his abilities. Now here's some tips on how to play him. For my time in the early access servers, I think the key to Master Blade is to fully use his kit. Don't tunnel vision on just the shotgun or sword. Use each in their ideal range. The shotgun is very good for distance and stay close to the front line. For healing, applying the anti-healing effect on enemy tanks to force their healers to pay extra attention to them, leaving the DPS vulnerable. It also is good for softening up enemies before going in with his sword. The sword is super strong against tanks because of your lifesteal and survivability, and usually can't burst you fast enough to stop it. Also, the sword attack can go through things like Magneto Shield and Strange Barrier. Magneto Shield, not Bubble, and Strange's Shield. You have 2 dashes, so always save at least one to escape when things go wrong, anticipating incoming damage, or CC with your block. Now, the CC immune is only there for a brief second, so you use that the best you can. It can give you a massive edge in close fights. And remember, your block works no matter which weapon you have out. His ultimate is best to use to push grouped up enemies or pressure backlines. With healing supports combined, it's with other big crowd control abilities like Groot's ult. It's basically game over for whoever's stuck in there. To recap, Blade is a close-range bruiser who thrives in sustained fights, has great mobility, anti-healing, lifesteal, and one of the most stylish kits in the game right now. He's the first and only hero with anti-effect heal on both his dash and ultimate. Plus, his aesthetics straight up 10 out of 10. Yeah, we definitely maining this character, aren't we? But anyways, that's the end of today's video. I made a whole script, so I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. I can't wait to play Blade.